Viewers of the tube, welcome to my YouTube channel, and this is my first YouTube channel, and I should tell you the story behind it, that why I started doing this YouTube channel, because I've got advice from some of my close friends that I should really start and share this knowledge regarding the next big thing, which is cryptocurrencies, right? Uh, yeah, that's what was the trigger which kind of motivated me to start this YouTube channel. So as you know that this is my first YouTube video, obviously it will not be like that entertaining, or I may not be more comfortable with this video thing, but I'll just get started because the whole agenda of this channel will be to share video, to share the knowledge as much as possible so that uh, all of you can benefit from that, right? So, and before I get started, I just want to make sure that this disclaimer is out there, that I'm not a financial advisor, or so whatever I'm going to talk about is just for educational purposes and nothing more than that, and it's only informational. And you can use this information and make your own decisions, right? Okay. So let me start by saying the concepts of money, right? What is money? So, if you think for a while, that money is nothing but just a belief system, right? Because if you go back far in the history, we had this barter system. So, in barter system, people used to exchange um, one thing for the other. For example, they would trade rocks for rice, or for bananas for vegetables. So it was like kind of a barter system, and they used to consider the things they need and the things they get. It depends on the two counterparties, right? So now, we'll slowly. So this concept of money slowly evolved over the period of like in thousands and thousands of years. So finally, like gold, if you know, is considered as a store of value, right? So why gold is considered a store of value? Because money or store of value is something which is like kind of scarce, right? The scarcity is one of the very important aspect of anything which can preserve your wealth, right? So scarcity, then divisibility. So with gold, you cannot just go and buy a coffee, or you cannot buy a pizza with the gold, right? So the currency system is backed by gold. It used to be backed by gold. So any country, the whoever is printing money, right? For example, in India we have INR. So government will print this INR, and initially, like back in before 1970, I believe. So that time, a country can print only as much money as they have gold reserve, right? But then this gold standard went away, and almost all the countries in the entire world started their fiat system. So fiat system is nothing but the INR, which is backed by nothing. Okay, so now can you imagine this concept that uh, this 100 rupee note is just like a government stamped paper, right? It is not backed by anything. Okay, so it started in 1970, and uh, there are many professors and many studies has been done in this area, and they have found out uh, all this fiat based system will come to an end now, or it is bound to happen. Fiat system is like that, right? So and if you remember 2008, the recession, right? What happened was, like, because of the banking infrastructure, it worked in a way, or आपका ये, if you see this whole real estate thing, right? So that led to this recession for the entire world in all sphere of life, right? So the decision making ability of how much to print, and all this decisions are like monetary policies, right? So if the government is not like most of the government, like they will try to do the best what is for the people, but sometimes it turns out like they don't know what they're doing. For example, Venezuela. If you look at Venezuela, the inflation rate there is so high that you can't even imagine. Okay, it's their currency is worthless. So they have adopted now um, the dollars, US dollar, right? So all this system, all this fiat system is like, it's controlled, centralized, right? Somebody is there who is controlling. So mostly governments, right? They are controlling this fiat system. They are even controlling, like, what you should do, what you should not do. So it's kind of a centralized system. So how can we get away with something which is centralized? Because we know if there is centralization, there is like the power is centralized and it can be misused, right? So after 2008 debacle, right, and also we had this demonetization. So that would really help you to put things in context. So what happened in demonetization was suddenly one night the prime minister announced that the legacy 500 rupee note will not be accepted anywhere, and people who saved money for years, right, but not in bank but with themselves, now suddenly the next day they realize that then nobody will be accepting this money, right? And then you have to stand in this long queue, and they also have some maximum like amount which you can deposit at a time. So it was, just imagine the pain of a saver here, right? People who are saving for their lifetime, and suddenly they come to know one morning that it's not accepted by anywhere. Like, no, you cannot buy vegetables, you cannot buy any service with that money, right? So what's going to happen? They're going to lose value, right? So it's hitting this kind of decision, although it was done with a good intention, but it did impact a lot of people who saved money for a long time. So the whole agenda, like I'm talking about this historical things, fiat system, demonetization, centralization, right? These are all the issues which we have in our current monetary system, right? So in 2008, a team or an individual, we don't know, by the name Satoshi Nakamoto, right? So he created a white paper and he published it. So the white paper was talking about a decentralized peer-to-peer currency network. So now, here's this concept, and in science, it's a long pending. Strongly recommend you to do some if you want to be financially independent at some point of time, right? So if you want to be financially independent, I would highly recommend research about hex. And if you guys want, I can make the detailed video of the hex pending problem, like how can you manage a decentralized server, right? How can you bring about the decentralization, right? So this particular this is I believe this is the greatest innovation of this century, because this decentralization network and having the consensus method to get this the rules for the network, right? So what this white paper was, that they this white paper was talking about creating a system where people can send money wherever they want and nobody can stop them, not government, nobody, because it is a money of the people, right? Nobody can stop you. It's a peer-to-peer currency network, and it's a decentralization. So obviously, if you have decentralization, you are going to have to define some consensus mechanism with which you can validate all the transactions in the network, right? So here what happened was, although so this concept, this decentralization and the consensus it's called the blockchain concept, right? So this gave birth to this blockchain technology, which now it's a booming sector, and jobs are there, and it's growing like I think the next big thing you will see in the tech industry side will be definitely blockchain. It's already there, but I think there will be a lot of adoption in terms of the technology and the output of those technology, right? So just let me know, guys. I mean, if you want to go in more details about this, I can definitely go in a lot of details and how this decentralization network works, and like the Byzantine fault tolerance. I can go into all these details, but I don't think like a lot of viewer will be interested in that. So if you guys really want to know, let me know. I can dig into the details. But now, why? So this movement of decentralization started in 2008, and it started picking up like heat, I would say around 2011, right? So when people came to know about the cryptocurrencies, right? The Bitcoin. So Bitcoin was the first cryptocurrency, and Bitcoin uses proof of work consensus mechanism for the transactions, right? So what is Bitcoin? So Bitcoin, it started as a currency, but due to the so in decentralization you will always have this trade-off, right? You want faster transaction, or you want con- so you really have to decide like which particular aspect you want to make trade-off with, right? So I think from a database perspective, blockchains are really slow. Okay, very inefficient databases. So I think for most of the real-time use cases, you can always go with the traditional like database, right? Like Oracle and all. But for if you want, the only thing the decentralization network and the blockchain offers is censorship resistance, right? And also you cannot change, you cannot undo a transaction if it is already logged into the network, unless if you own 51%. So there is a very small like scenario where you can have like more than 51% of the control in the network, and you can then fork the network and bring a new chain and do a lot of things. But mostly it's not possible, because if your network has grown very huge, so taking control of the entire network is very difficult. Okay, but that is a possibility. So it's a risk, right? But if you really want censorship resistance, I think blockchain is the thing which can offer that. So now, why I'm talking about all these things? You must be wondering like this. So for this last 12 to 13 minutes, I was talking about this whole background, giving you some background like what I'm going to talk about. So a lot of people, so anything new will come with a lot of risk, because it's kind of an experiment, right? But if you want to make money, this is the place to be, because you cannot have like 10 times your principal in the traditional market that easily, right? It's you have to be like doing some margin trading or options, right? But I think if you want to get understand this new technology, understand the risk, and get some idea about what's going on, right? And then you can make an informed decision whether you want to go with this or not. So I have seen like real example in my life. Some of my friends, they really kind of retired after making some investment in this Bitcoin ecosystem back in 2012 and 13, and they were lucky enough that they were able to sell the right time, which is the main game. So in the world of investing, you have to understand that putting your money is one thing, but booking profit is the major thing. Okay, if you have done that, then you are the real winner, because most of the people will see their portfolio grow like this, and then suddenly it will come like this, and they will not. So I'm not saying that you should trade, but you should have a plan, like when to sell your when to sell your investment, right? And how you want to sell it over time. So it's not like you just keep on investing and you're not taking anything out of it, right? Ultimately it's a cycle. Any kind of investing will happen in cycle, right? So there will be a boom phase and then there will be a bear phase. So this bull, you have to make sure that you're taking profit out of it. So so Bitcoin has already done like 1 million x, 1 million x. Okay, it started with a penny and now it is trading not even 1 million, it is even more than that. So if you can see right now, Bitcoin is trading at 15,000 US dollars, right? So if something can go from 1 penny to 15,000 US dollars in 10 years, what do you think we're talking about? There is an opportunity of a lifetime in this particular field which you guys can take advantage of, right? And I think I was even late to the game. I got to know about this whole industry, or you should say this whole world of cryptocurrency back in 2017 when Bitcoin was hitting all-time high, right? Around it already, when I got into Bitcoin, it was already trading around 8,000, and then it went to 20,000, and then it came back again, right down. So after getting into this market, so you can say that Bitcoin was the first generation of the cryptocurrencies, right? Then they came up with more innovation. So they came up with the idea of smart contracts, right? You can execute contract automatically using code, like the Hex ecosystem, how it works and how you can get started, and how you should do and what I'm doing. So I can get into all those details. So I think for today and my first video, it's a straight normal talk for 24, almost 25 minutes, right? So
Using code.
for example, so the next big cryptocurrency next to Bitcoin is Ethereum. So Ethereum is like a platform which enables you to create contracts, smart contracts. For example, back in 1990s when internet was new, right? So the basic protocol level is TCP/IP, right? Based on that protocol, you're building application on top of internet. So same way we have now Ethereum. So that is the foundation layer, and on top of that you can build ERC20 tokens. So in 2017 there was a huge hype around this whole ICO market. So ICO was nothing but initial coin offering. So a lot of people like kind of lost all their savings because it's a very risky game, and I would strongly recommend not to get into any of these projects until and unless you have spent and you have investigated properly, right? Never ever should you put money in those kind of very volatile new coins, right? Should I say? So but as far as Bitcoin and Ethereum are concerned, these are the blue chips of crypto. Okay, so I believe everybody, irrespective of which age group you are, I think if you can put 1% to 2% of your net worth into this new new investment, new asset class, which is cryptocurrency, I think it can change your portfolio dramatically. Okay, so why I'm talking about this right now? Because for the past since 2017, I was into this market, and on a day-to-day basis, I was looking into the news changes, and even I was talking to a lot of people about it, and I was going through all the because I'm an engineer, so I was also going through this Solidity programming, by which you can code in Ethereum, right? So I was actually kind of looking into the market, and so I was like first time invested back in 2017. I never ever invested in in a stock market, although I had mutual funds and the fixed deposits and VPF and all, but I have never ever invested in stock market. I never traded anything. So this was the first experience for me when I got into cryptocurrency. So I started investing in cryptocurrency back in 2017. But as you know, after that there was a huge dump, right? So my portfolio went almost like 60% down, 60 to 65% down. But as I was not in it for the gains as such at that point of time, but obviously if I have invested something, I want my investment to grow, right? But I was really patient with my investment, even though I saw my portfolio going down by 60%. But I was like not afraid, or I was not worried about it, because I knew that this space is gonna grow like anything. I think exponentially and parabolic. So I think now in November 2020, I think we have already started the next bull cycle of this whole cryptocurrency market. And this bull market in cryptocurrency is like a 4 year cycle, you can say. Okay, so we have already crossed the first year of the bull. Now this cycle will go parabolic. So right now Bitcoin is trading in $15,000, right? But I think by 2021 summer we could see one Bitcoin worth more than $100,000. Okay, so we are talking about almost 7 to 8x your principal just in Bitcoin, which is a blue chip, which you can put your money, at least put 5% of your net worth in Bitcoin, and you can just sleep without any worry. Okay, so that's not a problem. You can have an investment in Bitcoin. You can also invest in Ethereum, because Ethereum is gonna grow as well along with Bitcoin. So right now Ethereum is trading somewhat around $400, and it can go to 4,000, so almost 10x, right? But I have, for the last 2 years I have been following a project, and I was really excited about it because it's a really good concept, I believe, and it is having a huge market fit. Okay, in crypto world, and it would make sense for a lot of investors who are looking for a long term kind of plan, right? So obviously all these banking products, whatever products we have in banking, like savings account, fixed deposits, and there are many others, right? So in blockchain, I believe everything will be transformed into the blockchain environment. All the legacy financial product will be migrated to blockchain, and it has already started. So the whole agenda is like getting rid of the middlemen. Okay, there should be nobody between the producer and the consumer. So the lesser the gap is between the producer and the consumer, the more efficient the system is, right? So this particular project is called like it's based on the principle of having the time value of money. So for example, when you do fixed deposit, let's say you put $10,000 for 10 years, so you will get some X return, and if you put it for 15 years, you'll get more than X returns, right? So the longer you commit to invest your money, the better your reward would be, right, with interest. So this fixed deposit is called certificate of deposit in other countries, right? Now this project which I'm going to talk about is going to bring that certificate of deposit into blockchain. So this is the first blockchain CD, okay, blockchain certificate of deposit. And this project, when it started back in December 3rd, 2019, the first 2 days were crazy. Okay, I mean, it was not. If you have invested, it would not have been so good. But the launch phase is for 1 year. Okay, so that launch phase is gonna be over on 19th November, and so there are a lot of aspect to this which I can talk about, because it's a very detailed and there are a lot of things to talk about actually. But for the time being, what I would say is I already made an investment in this project, and I have suggested some of my friends as well. And the fact that I'm recording this video right now, it's because my friends told me like you should share this knowledge to everybody, at least in India, right? Because people are not that much aware or open to this new space, right? So I think it's a really untapped market, and I'm really happy to be part of spreading this whole awareness about cryptocurrencies, and specifically this project which is called Hex, Hex. So guys, do let me know if you want to hear more about Hex, and how you can make your investment grow exponentially in next 1 year. Tata, bye bye, take care.